The man of the hour, Dustin Glucker. Folks, I'm so excited for tonight's call. Welcome to the Thursday night Easy Pay Testimonial Call. These are always my absolute favorite. If this is your first one, you're jumping on, I hope that you're ready. I actually want to tonight really encourage everybody that is on this call to have a notepad and pen, because tonight you are going to get a lot of good information. We're going to have somebody on here by the name of Dustin Glucker, who has absolutely turned his business around. We're going to talk about his whole story from beginning to end, probably a little bit prior. And we're going to talk about his turning point and the speed and the momentum and the action that he has going on up in his local area. Dustin is out of Helena, Montana, one of my favorite towns to go visit. And Dustin is a dear friend of mine. We've been friends for a while. I'm sure we're going to really get into that too. This has been a very special week for me and all the years in the business, and to be having Dustin on here on tonight's Thursday testimonial call. I'm excited about to just talk to Dustin as a friend like we normally do. We talk multiple times every day, and that could probably be counted as a testimonial call because that's the stuff we talk about anyways. But tonight we're really going to put in a format for all of you out there that are serious about growing your business and you're looking for that edge. And I'll just tell you right now that when you get on these testimonial calls, or when you watch, the training videos on, whether it's me or somebody else, the idea is to grab the pieces of information that you can relate with, that you can be you with, right? So the idea is not on a testimonial call to try to be Dustin Gluckert, or try to be Nick, or try to be Chris King or Cam if you're on last night's call, or Joe. The idea is to be you, but what you're doing when you get on a testimonial call and on the trainings is taking the nuggets of information. They're giving you their structure. They're giving you the bones of what's working in their business. And then it's up to you to go and implement the things that work with your style, that work with you still being you. This has been one of the big things we're talking about this week. And the other thing is committing to this business. We've been doing testimonial calls all week long. We've been having some really good, some of the trainings even a little bit intense, because the focus this week has been making a commitment to your business. There's no doubt that is a very common denominator of people that are doing well. So I'm excited to get Dustin on here. I don't know how long this is going to go. I'm in no rush whatsoever, because Dustin is going to have so much good stuff to share with us. I can't wait to get to it. So I'm going to jump on here. Dustin Gluckert, the man of the hour. Unmute. There you go. What's going on, D Money?
What's happening, Joe? Can you hear me?
A lot, man. I know you guys are getting a snowstorm up in Helena, huh?
Yeah, it was just a freak thing here today. So we had about 12 inches of snow on the mountain passes around us here today. So it's been a little bit interesting, but that's living life out here in Montana. So I love my state, and would never move anywhere else. That's for sure.
Yeah, man. I love it. And that's just another, you never know what life's going to throw at you. Adapt, do whatever it takes, whatever.
Yeah.
And I actually, I didn't think about this, but there's this year nationwide, this winter was pretty crazy, and it was freezing cold. I mean, upward Dustin was at, what, to get negative 43 degrees this winter.
And we had a record cold spell for about 2 weeks actually, and it was it's funny, I'll talk about it here in a little bit, but it was one of my better weeks. So.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys were getting pounded with snow, and I don't know who's been out to Montana and drove these back highways, and I mean, they are just gorgeous. I don't know if there's a better or more beautiful country in the United States than Montana, but Dustin worked through all of that. He had 24 inches of snow on the ground and ice, and it's negative 40 degrees, and we have him on this call tonight, where he has grown his residuals. He's got him to 6 figures. If he stopped right now, he's going to collect 6 figures from the work that he's already done. And I didn't even intend on doing on painting that picture, but he did all of it in a crazy winter with crazy levels of snow and crazy temperatures. D Money, you are the man making it through that, doing it in the winter like that.
It doesn't matter when you commit, but we can chat about that here in a bit. So it doesn't matter.
What a cool story. So let's get right into it, man. Just like with most people, we want to hear the backstory. Some people have seen you on the on the morning
Yeah.
meetings. Other people on here, it might be their first call, or they haven't heard from Dustin Glukert. So let's give them a little backstory here. Who's Dustin? How did you get into merchant services, and what were you doing before? Just kind of give us the
Yeah.
backstory.
So I'll give you guys a little backstory here. So, a couple years ago, my wife and I, we had a property management company that we owned here in Helena, and it was very successful. We had, 400 properties that we managed. And, I knew Joe here before this, but it was really just sucking the life out of us. And I think my wife put it pretty good. She said we were kind of like on call doctors, on call emergency physicians. Like, we were getting calls at 2, 3 in the morning. Like, I remember Thanksgiving, it was literally Thanksgiving, I'm sitting around the table with my family, and I'm getting calls. We have water leaks, and I was hanging out with Joe, and he's kind of pitching me talking to me about the opportunity, and like, his lifestyle. Like, what really attracted me to this industry is the lifestyle. So the industry I was in, I was making pretty good money every month, and that was great. But it was time, right? It was taking all the time and joy away from my family, and that's huge for me. So I want to give, before I get going in this too far, I want to give a big shout out to my wife. She's been huge. So but anyways, so we had our business, and we'd gotten married, and one of the things she was telling me is, Dustin, this is not the life for me. I do not want to own this maintenance company, this property management company. And we need something else. And it was awesome because Joe had actually come and visited me here, and he ran it was one of, quote me if I'm wrong here, Joe, but it was one of your first Spartan Beast race that you ran out here in Montana.
I think it was the second one. I came up with Danny, hung out with you. Yeah, that's where you met Danny.
And I'm like,
I think it was the second one.
And so I couldn't. So I'm just gonna tell. I couldn't run the race because I was so busy at my job that I created for myself, and that actually was a huge, like, kind of click in my mind. Like, this isn't going to work for me. I need to find something else. And so fast forward here, my wife's, she's not 100% on board with it anymore. And I'm starting to feel the burnout, 7 years of doing property management. I'm in a little bit of debt with property management. And, I come to a point when I just have to, I start walking away from the business. And Joe's already talked about this in the meetings. Like, this didn't click for me right away. This really didn't.
Oh yeah,
it took a while, and I'll go into that here in a little bit. But just to kind of,
we're definitely going to go into that, because that's something with all the people that are on here, the amount of people that come into this business and just take off. It really is a diamond in the rough. It's way more normal to not start off at 100 miles an hour and have that learning curve. And definitely we're going to go through that. But I remember when you had, excuse me, I remember when you had the property management come. I remember hiking up the top of Mount Helena. You're like taking calls and stuff. I'm like, dude, this is crazy, bro. Like,
and you never had one.
You can't turn your phone off, bro.
You didn't have one. And that's what I was like,
this is crazy. But something else that a lot of people can relate to is, Dustin was driving. I think you were driving a nice Audi at the time.
I did,
You were well dressed, well groomed, beautiful wife, all this stuff, and
nice boat,
and one of the things that is amazing about this vehicle, that sign you're holding right here in this picture, right, the Own Your Life, it's that freedom. And a lot of people get tied up in the material stuff, but they completely give away the freedom and the time. And I mean, that call, I actually haven't heard that story where you're at Thanksgiving dinner and you're taking calls, right? You're running your business. That's crazy. Is there any amount of money? Is there like $10 million a year? Would you take it for the same scenario and commit to that?
No. 100% no. I would never get into a situation like that where I did not control my life. I didn't own my life. Like Joe has been talking about this, and I'm glad I have not been on all the a lot of the different things. I've been doing the training, and I'll go into that with Joe. I've been doing the one-on-one coaching with him. I've done the 6 months model with Joe, and I'm going to go into that a little bit more. But like what Joe is talking about, you guys, on everything is owning your life. And the people that actually go out there and get that, I got it. And that's really when I actually made the switch from, it was great having the nice stuff, having the nice business, the nice office space. That was really nice, but it wasn't really truly owning your life. And it wasn't for me. And
The
it
cost, the
wasn't,
cost is your soul.
yeah, right. So these people owned me, and I knew that. And it actually took a little bit of time for me to I think, was it Chris last night that you had on the call last night,
Yeah,
Joe?
Chris Cam, yeah.
Yeah, I think Chris put it really well on the call last night. Was, and you did too, Joe, it's burn all the ships, right? Burn all the ships. And I needed to do that before I truly fully 100% committed to the program. And Joe's talking a lot about committing to the program. And honestly, as soon as that happened, we'll talk about it here in a second. It was just
Totally.
a
Let's
rocket went off.
let's move that
So
direction, because I know it wasn't
yeah,
easy for you to give up that management company. You built something
it
special. You've
wasn't.
given it everything, and just like a lot of things in life, and there's a lot of people on this call that know they can do this, but they're afraid to step away from this thing that's actually holding them back, or maybe even causing pain, like it was for you. And maybe someone's
It was.
happy with their job. Hopefully they are, but they know that they need to go all in. But tell your story. Was it hard to walk away from that? You would think it'd be easy, but how did you
It
feel?
was.
Did you have fears, the commission only, or just
Yeah.
all of
Oh,
it?
it was. It
What
was.
did
It
you feel?
was. It was. I mean, let's just be honest, Joe. I had to
Absolutely.
give up everything. I had to give up my boat, give up my car, give up my nice place, and I had to move us into a smaller apartment, like my wife and I. And she was so supportive throughout this whole process. And that's just, we don't give our spouses enough credit, guys. So if you have a spouse out there, give them an extra hug tonight. But she was
Totally.
so supportive of that. And but as soon as we made that decision, that freedom is way more important than the new Tacoma truck we're driving, up in the
Yeah.
mountains. And it was just way more important. And giving up the business, like I'd put 7 years of my life, literally my life, way plus 40 hours, guys. We're talking like 70-hour work weeks. Joe saw it. It actually really hurt a lot of my, the hardest part. It hurt a lot of my relationships with
Yeah.
people.
So even
And
so even with all
yeah,
that going on, what do you think it is that makes it hard? Why is it that something that is a logical, good decision?
yeah,
Uh,
it's
why is it
familiar,
hard? Just what's your opinion on
familiar, comfortable. You just being comfortable, even if it's horrible and it's comfortable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all we know. And this is different. This is new. This is, I can I do it? I mean, even me running a successful management company, I had that fear, like everyone else that jumps in here. Can I do it?
Right.
And actually what really started driving me is I started hearing things like, oh, he just got lucky on the management No, I wanted to go out there and prove that it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm going to be successful at it. No matter if it's at my home life, if it's, and Joe's kind of really helped me through this. If it's working out, if it's and I'm going to talk about those changes that I made, but every aspect of my life I want to be successful at and win at, not just in my career. It's really important that you hit all the different aspects of your life.
Yeah.
So in
So
order to
we're
fully do this.
we're kind of painting a picture here, and I want
Yeah.
to realign what people are hearing, because he made the commitment to get out of the other business. But I remember when Dustin came into this, I can't necessarily say, like, yes, you told yourself you're committed to it, but the results did not reflect. In the first 12 months you were here, yeah, you were committed out of the other business, but did you come into this just rocking and rolling? Like you came over into it. How was that first year? Let's talk about that. It wasn't all peaches and roses, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't. So we had gotten going, and ironically started in January again or something crazy, some really cold week, right? And I went out into Livingston, Montana. I mean, I rolled. I mean, I didn't do well, and
butt kick, buddy.
Yeah. All right, I was trying to be nice about it, but yeah, I didn't do well, and probably for 3 or 4 weeks until I got my first deal, you know, and even after I got a couple deals, you know, under me and got a little bit of momentum, you know, that kind of fizzled out, and you know, I still had these things dragging on to me, you know. I want to paint the picture of like a running back running, right, and they have tacklers holding them back, and I needed to get rid of these things, you know. I needed to fully get rid of this business,
right?
And honestly came down, and Joe, I'm gonna be open and share this. For me,
Please.
it came down to my lifestyle and my physical lifestyle. Like I'd been drinking alcohol at my house, you know, like not overboard, but you know, a few drinks here every evening, right? You know, and that, honestly, not eating healthy and having that lifestyle was holding me back, and I truly 100% believe that.
Yeah, this is a really big deal, and you know, we're a payment processing company, and you know, not a fitness company, but that stuff matters, right? We do winner circle calls, and we talk a lot about, and I want to associate with, and I want to help people be champions and be winners, and to look and do the things that champions do. And sometimes we create these bad habits that losers of the world do. Dustin's overeating or over drinking or whatever picture you're painting, and and not getting results moving in a positive direction. You're talking a double negative, and it did hold you back, man. Definitely.
I'm actually, like, it's cool to acknowledge it now, and to know that I've really moved on from it, and won in that area of that I was battling. And you know, huge thanks to my wife on that one. So a lot of support from her.
Jen is amazing, and Dustin's right. If you've got a spouse who's supporting you, whether they fully understand the vision or not, give them some extra love. And Jen did a great testimonial call on Monday with us. You know, so I'll tell you right now, that year your residuals grew by $500. Before this call, I was looking at all your numbers over the last couple of days. It's like, you know, wow, like holy cow, cool. Wow, something has changed. I know what it is, but we're going to talk about it. But that's where you were at. Okay, so for all of you that are kind of going through whatever you're going through, or if your business isn't where you want it to be, or you do have momentum, where you're at now can change. Okay, it does not have to be even tomorrow morning. You can wake up and make decisions tonight that make you different person and different actions tomorrow, but certainly over time. So last year, the first year wasn't the greatest. We've made that clear. No. Let's get on to all the positive. We got a lot of time.
Sounds good, buddy.
So much good stuff to go over. So that was the starting point. So what happened, man? Because clearly things have turned around. What was the turning point? What events? What happened? Just what changed?
You know, I've kind of just was doing my own thing, and Joe had come out with the book, you know, and we'd been talking, you know, like me and him we're really good friends outside of the business, you know, but we'd been talking, and he told me, I'm writing a book, man. I'm like, you're what? It's like, I'm writing a book. I'm like, okay. And like in December and stuff, I mean, if I'm okay saying this, Joe, he'd given me some snippets to the book, like, hey, this is chapter 1. This is and I literally, while he was writing the book, I was reading it, and it was that, I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I can freaking do this. I have got no, actually, you know what? My excuses are bullshit. And that's what I said to myself. These are absolutely ridiculous excuses. Not getting up and not getting up and getting out there in the field and hitting 15 doors this is excuse my language, this is bullshit, and these excuses are wrong. And you can do this, Dustin. And I did. I got up and I started reading that. And I Joe was talking about his coaching at this time. And this was cool because he was starting to do like the net, like I'm doing everything you guys are doing, literally doing everything you guys are doing. So we were talking about the Netflix or rebuttals, and
It was
he
just
had,
it was an idea at that time.
yeah. And I was like, this is so awesome. I've never even heard of, like, they don't even have this kind of training in like real estate or like anything. I don't even know where you can get training like this and actually be there in a live sale. So I started doing the training with Joe, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, there's no sugar. I mean, he talks about being a little abrupt this week. There was no sugarcoating this. Like, I needed some serious dead weight removed, and he helped me do that, but it was not easy. And you know, I started listening to his book and just honestly getting motivated about the vision, right? The vision is to own your life, not have to worry about your bills, not have to worry about this and that, and truly go out there and do it. And so I was listening to
Well,
that book.
and that's the difference right there. You know, every time I get something, I jump in here, but you just said
Yeah,
to
it's
actually
okay.
go out
Good.
there, to actually go out there and do it. And you know, it's you. Everyone that's on there, it's up to you to build the business. And I
Yeah.
appreciate the compliments and all that stuff, but
No,
you guys go do this. You can get on YouTube. There's motivation. There's training. There's books. There's all that stuff. But at the end of the day, Dustin, you made some
yeah.
decisions.
Oh yeah.
You did it.
No.
And I'm even throw a little bit extra in there just because I know the story really intimately and was there. You really wanted to just turn things around and like let's go to Zion, right? Like
Yeah. Okay.
you made some,
I want to talk about that.
yeah,
Thank you for bringing that up.
you made some serious
So
changes, and you know I'm willing to invest in people that are serious. And you got really serious. I think it was December. Like
yeah,
you had made your mind up in December, and we're like,
yeah.
all right, let's get momentum going in your life. And by January,
So
your business will explode. And we focused on your life first. Talk
we
about
did
that.
we did. So Joe and I and love you too, Danny. Danny was with us. We actually went to Zion and National Park, and Joe's been talking to me about Zion for years. And I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I got Montana. No, I'm telling you guys, I got to give a plug to Zion. This place is awesome, unreal. I can't even, I literally, I cannot describe it on this call to you. There's no way for me to physically describe it. But anyways, Joe and I get there and we go to Angel's Landing. If I remember, that's the hike. I mean, this is lit. This hike was unreal. And we went out there and like we were gonna do like a 3 or 4 mile hike our first day. Looked at Joe, heck with it, man.
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's go for it. We went.
That's what you were told the plan was.
So we just went for it, and it was like 20 miles, 19 miles, you guys. And I wasn't in, I mean, I was in okay shape, but not that kind of shape. And we did it. We pushed ourselves really hard that day. And Joe, it was cool because Joe and I we're kind of like jogging, and we're like, you know, this is what we did a bunch of videos on the, oh, there we go. Cool. Yeah, we did a bunch of videos on the hike, and those were actually great because I kept looking back through those when I was building the business. Like, I was totally gassed at one point. Joe, you were too. Danny, you were. And we were like at a spot where we should continue or not. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes in life you just have to go for it. And we're going for it, guys. And like I actually kept that in my phone, that it would come up periodically on my Google Photos. And so I would remind me how hard that was, but I got through it. And that actually really motivated me in building the business. And then also, having the ability to just go out and go hiking in such a beautiful place like we were in, and knowing that I can do that now, honestly, that I've made it to a point of financial freedom, and I can go out there and do that now, is really cool to actually think. I haven't actually thought about that till right now. So that's
Absolutely,
actually
man. And
really
the
cool.
the reason I brought this up is because part of the transition we were talking about the point where you said, screw it, and you stopped buying your bullshit excuses and you committed,
Yeah.
which is what we're getting
Yeah.
at. But a part of that was also taking care of yourself. And we
Yeah.
took care of the first part first, and we knew the business would take care of itself. And would you agree that have we not we did, man, we spent a couple weeks on that trip, well, not just hanging out and talking, all that's important, but you got healthy, man. You started eating, you got physical, and you turned
Yeah.
it around so that you could actually hang and have the energy to push hard.
Yeah.
You agree?
I do. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, no
It's
problem. So, man, what a
it's
trip that was. We've done so many cool things, cool hikes, and since then. But let's get back to you blowing the business up. Okay, so January
yeah.
comes. What
January
what happened, man?
comes on
Where was
comes
your head
along.
at?
I'm like, I gotta get out of my state. I gotta get somewhere where I can hit some doors. And so I do want to bring this up. January 2nd, I had a plane ticket for Nebraska. I'm like, I'm going all freaking out. I'm going all out. I'm going 3 weeks, 2 weeks out in the field, whatever it takes, right? So I fly into Nebraska with Nick. Nick is another sales rep with us, and he's one of my friends before the business, and a great guy. And this was actually one of my breakout weeks. Me and him went out there, and we really put like everything that we're talking to test. Like, we put the law of averages to test. We put the 4 factors of impulse. Like, we hit so many doors, and it was awesome. That was really a time when I got my pitch down, my close my bridge to close where I wanted it. And that was kind of my aha, like, okay, cool, I can do this. I can actually, this is fun.
Right.
I'm having a good time out
Oh
here.
yeah, it's fun.
So this is great. And we got some deals, and flew home, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I wanted to actually share this. So we had actually went into a town, and I was with Nick here, and this was like one of our first doors. And the lady told us no, and we left, and actually got in the car, and I'm like, no way, man. No, you could have helped her. And he's like, yeah, I could have. So we turned the car around, went in there, signed her up. Just we just knew that my point of that story is we just knew that we were going to succeed no matter what. And he was there, I was there, and I mean, we had so many great. I learned how to every industry we hit. So it was,
So what made you
I
turn that
knew.
car around? You started talking about it, but there was something that made you turn around. This is really really important, and it's really a pinnacle point in this story here. I don't know what you're getting at, but you just said it. What made you turn that car around, dude? You
I
just
looked
said
at
it.
Nick and I said, we can help her. We
Bingo.
are here to help her.
Yeah.
We
You-
this is this we are not walking away from the, no, that was the whole thing. Like, this lady needed us.
right.
And
These
we
people
went
are
back in
trying to
there, and
stop. These people are trying to stop us from doing something that's
they're
really,
trying to
really going
stop,
to help them.
really beneficial to their business. And she actually needed us to track her inventory. So, but we went back in there, and we were just genuinely honest about it, and we're here to help you, and close the deal. Nick actually ended up closing that deal. And that was a really turning point, because all the testimonials you'll see on my, and we'll talk about Look Local First MT in a minute, Look
Oh,
Local
yeah.
First program that we're doing with our partner VisiPay. But you're gonna see, like, all of these people, we're out actually helping them. Like, it's their, like Joe talked about this, it's their time to make some money. Like, let's help them. let's help them get there. So
This is
that was a
super important, and that's why I went back to that. And this is like, if you're taking notes, like the biggest capital star underline everything, you can help everyone you talk to.
you
And
are
when you
literally
really believe that, when you know that, that was so cool that you threw that out there. And I haven't heard that story. Turn the car around and went back in there with sheer belief, because to turn the car around and go back in and sign someone, that's like not level 15 out of 10 difficulty. But I can already imagine the pitch. You guys went in with such a belief of, no, we can help, and here's how. And it's really important for everyone on this call to understand that you have to have that mentality. You have a cure for something they might not even know how bad it is, and how much that you can help them, and the impact that you're going to have on them. And to just take a no, right? To just take a no, like if you had the cure for cancer and you went to a cancer patient and said, I can help you, and they said, no, I'm not interested, would you just leave? Or would you actually be like, no, like, would you genuinely take the time to explain and show them I can help you? And that's so important for the people that just kind of take the first no and walk out. If you really believe in this program, if you really believe in what you're doing, you know that they're getting what you're telling them. They're not in a contract. They don't even have to buy anything. I mean, it's so in their favor to give it a shot, and you know it's going to help them if they do. You've got to treat this business like that. And I'm not saying you have to sign everyone that gives you a couple rebuttals. I'm just saying, when you really believe in the program, it reflects, and you're going to do more business when you mean it, and you know that. So really important. I had to harp on that there.
and not everyone can do that, but when you do have that, just like Joe was talking, that blind faith, and like, we are here for you. We're here to help your business. So
it's
yeah.
more important than the pitch. So many people get worked up on like, oh, this perfect pitch, and I'm practicing my pitch, and next Monday I'm gonna like magic. No, if you go
Just
in there
talk.
and you can help them, and you just talk to them and explain them how you can help them genuinely, you're gonna do really well. Even if your pitch sucks, it's more important. They will pick
Absolutely.
they will pick up
Absolutely.
on that.
Yeah.
So awesome,
Yeah.
man. So you're out there. That was the beginning. Keep going. So you went to Nebraska. We're talking about pivotal things that changed your business.
Yeah, I went to Nebraska. That was great. And then when I was leaving Nebraska, I was, I knew in my mind, I had absolute 100% complete blind faith in what we were doing. I had such a good time in Nebraska and over in that area. Nick and we drove everywhere. We listened to audio books. We listened to Joe's book a couple times. Like we really did a lot of I don't know, self-growth on that trip.
Soul searching.
There we go. Thank you, Joe.
There you
and
go.
Yeah, so I got back to Helena, and honestly, this is in January, guys. So Joe was talking about this earlier, like, it's crazy. It's snow. I'm literally looking outside. It's snowing right now, but I was like, I'm gonna go kill it in the coldest, nastiest month. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I started driving, out of Helena and hitting these towns, and I just went with that same mentality. We left that lady that we closed that one day when we walked back in with blind faith that we knew we could help her. I went out to every one of these businesses, and I am here to help you. It is your time to start making money, and let's keep your money local. And and I started doing my local first, and it doesn't matter what great pitch or rebuttals or honestly anything. Joe was just talking about it, and it really mattered that I was going in there and I was helping them. I'm eliminating a huge headache, a huge bill that they have, and I really started doing that. And I'm going to talk about different types of, like, I've moved up from like all of what I've learned in the last 5 months, just with the everything with merchant services when it comes to like equipment and things like that. But I just started getting
life,
deals.
man. You're getting experience. When you sign deals and you have shit to install, you start learning.
I started learning. There's what I'm trying to get at, Joe, is there's no way to learn this business sitting around and not taking action, right? You have to take action. And that was probably the biggest thing. Like, I was taking action, and then it came down to, like, like work your full 8 hours. Like we talk about the 8 steps to success, work your full 8 hours, right? Like
And
I was like, well, I can actually do more
I'd
than
go
that.
I'd go a whole nother level, because there's a lot of people in this business that are doing that. They are putting
Yeah.
they're listening right now, like, dude, I'm working 10 hours and I'm not getting it. So would you say it's fair to say that just working wasn't what made the difference, but the
Working,
transformation and
working,
the mentality and understanding the bigger picture, and that you're helping, like all of it, all that mental is actually what got the result, not necessarily the working harder. Is that fair to say?
exactly. You have to have the mental mindset. Like I'm going out here, like my biggest thing was like I'm talking about was helping people, right? You have to have that mindset when you're doing this. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to really say on that. Like anyone can go out there and have a job and work, 8 to 10 hours and, go through the motions. But when you're going out there with full intention, this is my business. That
Line.
was one thing too. This is my business, no one else's business. I make it work. No one else makes it work. No one else gets up and starts the engine for my business. No one else does that. I am the person. It sinks or swims no matter what I do. It's on me, no one else. And once I was really got to that point too, like this is on me. This is my business. And I just took ownership, Joe. I guess that's kind of the way that I'm trying to put that. I took ownership.
It's amazing, man. It's perfect. And I'm sure a lot of people right now, man, I almost got goosebumps right now. It's true. There's no one that's coming to save you. There's no matter what position you're in, you're the one that puts yourself there. You're the one that gets yourself out of there. We may have some support along the way. Hopefully we all
Yeah,
do. But at the end of the day, it's on you. And I love the way
on
that you
you.
just put that, man. And
Yeah.
I can relate, man. Attack everything like that, not just this business,
Yeah.
but it's really, really clear that the mental changed, man. You bought into
Yeah.
it. You stopped believing this is my favorite line. Like, I stopped believing the bullshit excuses. It's so important. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, so many gold
Like
nuggets there. So you start
we
signing.
can
Go ahead.
we can believe whatever we want to believe. It's crazy. The mind, like Joe talks about this, the mind, and I talk about it now. The mind is so powerful. Like there's so many times I wanted, like I'm honest, there's so many times I wanted to quit or not go out there and stop at that last door. Like
And
it seriously, I don't even know how many times that last door was a huge deal.
you spent a
It's
year doing that, and you got sick and tired of freaking being
Yeah.
sick and tired, man.
That was actually I think one of the phone calls we had that you loved this line that I said to you. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got sick of it. So that was one of my lines. I was like, that's a great line. That was good.
So last night I talked with Cam and I asked him something.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I'd bring it up or not, but I'm curious. I asked Cam, I was like, do you want a soft coach? Have you ever had, does Chris ever put you in a position where like it's like I'm gonna quit, or he's right? We had that. Right?
Yes.
And I sent
Yes.
I sent a text, and I don't send those to I gotta really love someone to send one of those. And I don't know what the reaction is gonna be. It's because it's the kind of text that's like, this person can be a little bitch and quit, or he's gonna take it and he's gonna change his life. Um, Talk about that, man. Obviously you responded to it. You don't need to talk too long on it, but talk about that.
I actually didn't know you were going to bring that up,
I didn't
man.
either, but there it is.
I'm glad Joe loves me enough to do that. And I mean, for any of you that have been in sports or anything competitive like that, I don't even really know how to say this. He just called me out, and he really just put it on the line for me. Like, this is it, Dustin. Like, let's go. And there was no sugarcoating it. And thank you, man. Thank you for doing that, because I've never had a coach like that. I've had coaches, but nothing like it was. We really had to. I think Joe really separated the friendship there, and it was both. I mean, it was just out of love, Joe. And I thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm in
That
this
was huge.
business. I'm in this business to look at this picture on the screen right now with you with a guy
So
residuals, which is $5,000 in residuals and to own your life, and you weren't moving
yeah,
that direction, and I had to either make you jump or go, and you went the right direction. You responded really really well to that. So kudos
it's
kudos to you
people
for
that,
that, man.
well, it's you surround yourself with the right people, and it's I know Joe got emotional on our phone call on Monday, and I mean, there's been a couple times when I've been held back today, but thank you, man, from the
Yeah,
bottom
man.
of my heart. Like,
Yeah,
you're an amazing guy, so you've
oh,
really helped me. So
you're doing all the work, man. We all need that nudge every now and then in life, and it's how we respond to it. And I think it's so important because not just with what I'm not just a text I sent you, but you had so much accountability. You had to, clean the skeletons out of the closet. You had to take a list, an inventory, and be honest with yourself. And this has got to get out of my life, and that's got to get out of my life, and this is being a, this is a hindrance, and
yeah,
this is a distraction, and this is poison, and this isn't helping. And quit lying to yourself. And we all need to do that. And sometimes we got to do it to ourselves, and
yeah,
sometimes it takes somebody exposing it. But a combination of all of that, it's really important to have the right circle of influence. You responded well. Here
yeah,
we are, man. You've changed your life. So love it, man. Great story. You get out there, you're
yeah,
signing, you're signing a bunch of deals. What do you
and just started.
what
Go
do you
ahead.
think separates you? Let's talk about building that foundation, because we're going to get moving in the direction of look local first, and our
Yeah,
partners, we'll get there. Let's move that direction. But, we had a conversation about laying your foundation correctly. What'd you go
it's
out and do? What would you say you do that separates you? How do you make yourself different? And, just talk about that.
like I said when I first got on here, I love my state, and I'm so passionate about I mean, I love everywhere, but I love Montana. And so when I went out there to lay my foundation right in my backyard, I already knew from our trip with Nick to Nebraska that we're here helping people, so I was all in. And laying my foundation, I wanted it to do it a little bit differently than maybe most people, where we ship them the terminal,
Or even
and
different
they
than
they
Nebraska, right? Because
even if different, yeah, even different than Nebraska, absolutely, because we were shipping them the terminal. So I started having, our partner VisiPay ship me the terminal directly. I would drive out there, do the install with them, and I started learning about the different technologies. And not that that's going to close you any deals, but I started wanting to know about it. Like, how more further can I take this?
and
How
just say
much more can I do? And so I started doing the installs and building that relationship with the customer. Here I'm your guy. This is I'm your point of contact. Like, you're never gonna switch. Like, and coming back there and doing those installs and building that relationship, and eating pizza with the pawn shop guy, eating, like
he
helping
signed
the
Dustin signed this hot springs. I don't know, it's $180,000 a month or something like that. And he's like,
yeah.
he called me. He's like, I'm going back tonight. The owner's demanding that I chill in the hot springs with him and hang out before he does paperwork. And Dustin had to go back to go hang out in the hot springs. That's what it took to
It
get the
did,
deal.
yeah. We literally we hung out. He was, these are some health hot springs. Like, people come from all over the country to go to this place. And he really wanted me to see his full the advantage of his business, basically, and what he's created. And I did that. I did that with him. I went the extra mile, and we've have a great relationship.
So,
Anytime I pass through there, I get in the hot springs with him. I got in there a couple times with him on my journey, so it's
so,
been
so
great. So
so now this awesome foundation is I'd say the foundation is we're kind of at the end stage of just the foundation. But
yeah.
why is that stuff so important that you're talking about? I mean, compared to what they're used to, what are they used to getting, and why is that such a big deal?
So I didn't even know this, but I know it now. What they used to get is a rep that never called them. The customer service never answered their phones, And we have such a great system, and they didn't get a terminal that worked right. The equipment never was what they said it was, right? All these horror stories, right? Like, you guys have all heard them. Anyone that's ever been in the field's heard them, so I'm not going to go through them. But people that haven't, that are on this call, that maybe this is your first time getting into it, they've never had white glove service, is what I call it. Like, I'm here for you. Like, this cash discount, the residuals are so good in here. We're going to take care of you. Like you've never been taken care of before. That's the difference with us. And I have a system that I can really rely on if I need it, and they can
And
rely on it too.
Dustin delivers on it. He doesn't just
Yeah.
say it, he delivers on it. And that's the difference, because they've been told it
Yeah.
a million
Yes.
times.
They've been told yeah, we'll do
That's one
this
of
and
their
that.
horror stories started with those
Yeah.
promises, but he does
Yeah.
it.
Our promises are real, and what we say is real, and you pay for it. So we're going to do what we say
So
we're going to do.
yeah, and a lot of that comes down to you brought up Busy Pay. I'm gonna bring them up, and we'll go back and forth on it. But a lot of that has to do with our partners at Busy Pay,
Yeah.
because we're the sales. Like, we do sales. We're focused on sales. It's amazing, right? You've got a business. You've got one job. Go
Yep.
get the next
Go
account.
produce.
Go get the next account and answer your phone if they call, which isn't often, right? They're not calling all the time. This isn't his property
No.
management company. He can
No,
actually,
they don't call it. They don't call unless they really need me,
right.
Unless
And
they.
and to have the back end to that, let's talk about the back end. Let's give the whole support team some credit.
I
And we're
want
going to come back to this a couple of times, but talk about having that support team and the support that a merchant does get, and how that allows you to feel
It's
confident in your promises that you're making to them.
it's unreal, because I mean, the support is exactly what I'm telling them. Then if they have an issue and they need tech support, they need accounting help, they need anything, right? They need to know. They need to know how to turn their terminal on. Like, they can call these folks, and these guys deliver. And I want to give a huge shout out: Quentin, Taylor, Dow, Kyle. There's so many others over there. You guys are awesome, man. I keep doing what you do. And if you're on the call, great. You guys are a huge part of our business. So thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, for us to be able to, it's so important for us. We're talking about being able to deliver. And it's one thing for Dustin to answer his phone like he tells someone, but it's another thing if the billing is off, or if they get charged more than what Dustin tells them, or they need tech support. They don't call Dustin, they call in and they get someone rude, or they don't get an answer. That stuff kills your business. That kills your business that you're out there working hard for. So for us to be able to just answer our phone is the easy part. Finding a partner that equally matches it is, for all of you that are on here,
It's huge.
it's very rare to find a partner like that. And us being partnered with VisiPay has allowed us so that what you're telling them is going to be matched, not just from your efforts, but even when you're not around, right? That's what makes this true.
Exactly.
Like, if you didn't pick your phone up, you've got business partners that handle it for you. It is real residual income, and they are 100 times better than we could be at. We're salespeople, right? You don't want to wear all those hats.
No, they're great. So yeah,
Man.
it's
So
put my full amount of faith in them, and they deliver every time. Every time.
Absolutely, man. We'll get back to that because we're going to talk about POSs and stuff. But with the accounts that you're getting, are you targeting verticals? Are you going after very specific businesses, or what do you do?
So in Montana, I mean, there's only a certain amount of doors, right? So it's every business. Like we talked about it with inflation, like, this business goes up, that good. I mean, I'm going to target every industry, every business. Like, there's obviously, we know a few that you can't sign them, but the ones I can sign, I'm going to go and talk to them, so I'm targeting everything.
What would you say to somebody? Because I hear it, pretty frequently, and it's cool. Everyone's 1099. You can go do what you want, but people come in, they like, oh, this program's going to be perfect for this business or for that business. And again, that's their business; they can do it. But what would you say to that? Is that the strategy that you would recommend?
No, not at all. What if that industry goes out, or what if something happens? Everyone's your target. If you have an owner that's open to cash discount, they're a target. I mean, every business is a target. I wouldn't focus on just one, not
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, 100% agree. I wanted to hear it from you. Could not agree more for so many different
Yeah.
reasons. And
Yeah. And it just makes you that much better, right? When you're talking to different people and you're learning their different industry, because I didn't know, like, I didn't know everything when with all these different industries. Like, I'm learning as I go.
love it, man. So you've got this little foundation laid. You getting referrals?
Yeah, that's been actually a huge part of my business now. We say what we're gonna do and we do it, right? So like Joe's been talking about, and right, these people start referring you, like, hey, Dustin's the guy. He's the Look Local First Montana guy. Like, talk to him. So I've actually, it's crazy. My phone never rang before with merchants calling me to ask to set up appointments, and it's rang over the last couple of weeks. And I've set these appointments, like, people have, I got to tell this story here, Joe.
Yeah.
I want to tell this story. So I've been, like I was telling you guys, I've been doing the installs. And so I went into this Mexican restaurant, Maria's Mexican restaurant. She's actually one of my testimonial calls. And I went in there and I helped set her point of sale up. I helped train her whole staff. I worked there for a couple of days. I wore the Maria's Mexican restaurant hat, like I was an employee there with them, basically helping their staff run their point of sales and change their whole business, right? And so happy for that lady. But anyways, yeah, Joe's pulling it up
Here
right
she is,
there.
right here, Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
So
literally says in here, I was like asking about how the install went, like, oh, it went so good. Dustin came down here and he worked for like 2 days to help me out and train me, except I didn't have to pay him like an employee.
and she laughs about it, but this wasn't even a referral from her, but there was actually another business owner in a town adjacent to there that saw what I was doing, right? I had my Easy Pay shirt on. I'm out there, professional, and he saw what I was doing. He's like, "Can I talk to you?" And we did the full pitch, and right there with him, I was actually trying to close him right there, and he was like, "Can you come back and I have a couple of the people I want you to present this to." So like literally the next day, I went back there. We closed the deal, and I just finished their install today. So
I mean, you're
it's
just
just crazy how it works like that. How
we're,
the
we're
business works like that.
we're starting to see this. I hope we're painting this picture like really, really, really well from beginning to end, and the mental changes, even physical and diet. And then you got in there, you started doing it and you did it right. And you thought ahead and you realized I need to be doing these installs and I need to separate myself from the competition. And you've been
Yeah.
doing that, right? So 5
Yeah.
months, you've done that. You've done unbelievably well. And
And
now we're here. Okay.
and I mean, and just, it hasn't been easy. It's not been easy. It's been everything I'm telling you. It's been, but it's so worth it, you guys. It is so worth it at the end of the day. Like, it is so worth it. I'm just at the start.
Could have called
I'm
it
just at the
hard
start.
ass work pay.
This is funny because these are literally like the conversations Joe and I have on the phone every day. This is great. So this is great.
So here we are today, right? Site
Yeah.
just up. We were just hanging out again. Exactly what we
Yeah.
kind of talked about on, hey, let's do this right. I'll be up there. We got a Spartan race where you're gonna be
6 weeks.
ready. You're gonna be ready for it this time. Dustin ran it with me. Got the medal.
Yeah.
Whole nother story we won't get into, but we did the Spartan
Okay.
race. And while I was there, we shot a bunch of testimonial videos, which puts us now, I would say, and I don't know if you feel the same, but we kind of closed the chapter on laying the foundation. And
Oh,
now
for
we're at
sure.
the beginning of phase 2, which is this look local first.
Bro. Yeah.
So we did, I think, 25 or 27 testimonials. There's still a bunch going up here. These are Dustin's
Yeah.
people. There's just going to be more and more and more. So talk about, this has been a couple of weeks. I know, talk about the impact it's had and the value of the look local first. And what is it that these
Yeah.
merchants really want? I could answer that because I was with you doing all these testimonials, but what is it they
It
want?
was actually crazy. So I thought they were going to say savings. I thought they were going to say all these other things, right? And so really what they want, and you'll see it right in there. They wanted someone local that they could trust, right?
Yep.
That's really what they wanted, Joe.
Yep.
And he came in here in person. He talked to me. He answered my questions. He listened, right? He listened. He did what he said he was going to do. I wanted a local person to help me. And so I actually didn't even know how big this was going to be until we went out and did these testimonials. And I saw that, wow, what I was doing was really impacting people. So we started doing all these testimonials. It was really cool to have Joe here for a week and do the race. That's probably, we could probably save that for a whole nother we could have a whole nother hour conversation on that. But driving around the whole state of Montana with Joe and doing these testimonials and just unscripted, unprompted answers, like, and it was just a common theme. Every person we went to, literally a common theme. I just was looking for someone local.
Right here, folks.
I want to keep my money right here in Montana, in our great treasure state. I
Yeah.
want to do business with a Montana guy. I want to do something where I'm not calling away. I call the 406 number, right? Like the local phone number. Like that was huge. And you may only talk to these folks one. I mean, it's just great. And the Look Local First program has been exactly what my local community is looking for. And I know everywhere else throughout the country, wherever you are, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in Montana, Washington, wherever, it's the same everywhere else. Nebraska. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're going to give VisiPay a lot of credit. They started this campaign out there in
Yes.
Iowa and have been watching them like, this is cool and this is cool and that's cool. And it just gained so much steam. And you went and you did the groundwork for you to go and do the same. And wherever you're at in the country, Dustin just said it. This is what they want. So this might spark some ideas, and Dustin, now that you have a site up, a little landing page, has this completely turned off, cold calling, and now you don't have to work anymore? I mean, is that the idea of this page here, or how has it actually worked so far at the beginning of it? So
I mean, honestly, no.
of
But
course
no, it hasn't turned any of that off. You got to still go out there and grind every day. Like we're not, but this just checked off on the board. Like, hey, this is what we're doing. And this is how we're helping people. So I was here. I'll just share this story because the story is the best way to share this. I was in a business, a Thai restaurant here in Great Falls, Montana. And the guy was like, "Are you guys for real?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Are we for real?" And I pulled this up and I played one of the videos for the gentleman. And I don't even think we had a bridge to close. He grabbed the paperwork from me and filled it out. That was the most interesting close I've ever had, but it was great. It literally, it was like, okay, great. Yeah, you can fill out all your personal information. Yeah, that works.
That's so funny, man. I'm always training. They never say sign me up, and he didn't. But he grabbed the paperwork and started filling it out. But he didn't say it.
No, he never said it, but he did it. So I was like, okay. But yeah, no, it's not gonna open up every door for you, but it's huge. It's, here's a little, we are what we say we are. I mean, that's the biggest hurdle we have is getting people to trust you, right? When you're out there in the field. And this just checks that off the board, right?
Yeah,
that's off the board. This is
building
what
up
we're
that
doing.
credibility, and when people see others in their neighbor, we talk the 4 factors of impulse. G is
right,
aka the Jones effect. And I mean, talk about Jones
Agreed.
effect, right?
Yeah. Oh, huge. Hey, your actual neighbor's doing this. I got a video of them. that was literally the bridge to close on that one. But yeah.
What ratio at this point? I know you've been doing so many installs. This, like, briefly, we're at an hour. Not to cut it off, we can go as late as we need to. But you've been doing a lot of point of sales.
Yes.
You do a lot of installs and stuff like that. Right now, screen share. So right now, what amount of time are you cold calling? Are you working referrals? Are you doing installs at this point in time?
Like a lot of my business, like for the past month, has been all installs with these B Logics. VisiPay has been helping me with those. So I haven't had a lot of time to do, new prospecting. We call it in the business, So I've been working, after hours, like when on my way home. Like, okay, great. Here's a couple. I'm gonna hit these, and on a Saturday is when I actually closed that deal. So
Was
you
that a
know,
referral or was that a walk-in?
that was a referral. Yeah. So I set an appointment with them and went and met with them on a Saturday because I'm busy doing all my installs, So um, once that's done, I'll be back to, my 20 doors a day and 20 pitches a day or whatever. And we'll be back to that. But
How,
I'm
how
devoted a lot of time to the installs.
how many referrals do you think you can just go and grab? Because I spent a week with you. And I'm like talking to these merchants, and
10,
dude, you don't
10, I don't know.
hit
I don't
another
even
door
know.
for a
10,
month,
10,
man.
10 plus,
Yeah,
probably 10
I,
plus, easy.
I would agree, man. So you're
I
doing
have
it
places
right.
to go. I have places to go. Put it
Yeah,
that way. I got places to go.
because we're talking all the time, I'll just kind of share. We're like, let's get this install done. And yeah, how many referrals you guys? Like, oh, I got to get down here. I got Mike. He's got two more businesses. Now he's happy with this one. He's ready to sign those two. And his sister's got a business. And I mean, I'm like, holy cow, man, let's get these things installed. You got 20 deals just hanging out there. And
Yeah, I
when
got
those
got
are done, you go cold call. But I'm so proud of you, man, for
yeah,
this foundation you built that's put you in
yeah.
the position. I mean, isn't that what we all want? Every single person on this call would rather have 10 referrals and go bang cold doors. I mean, I don't care who you are. I
That's
enjoy
so.
door knocking. I would rather have
I do too.
10 hot leads
Same.
any day of the week. And
Any day of the week. I mean the it's so nice to go in there and they're like, oh, hey Dustin, how's it going? Great. We're just ready to sign up. So I mean, they're not saying that. I'm still doing the whole I mean, doing exactly what we're trained, you guys. I'm doing the whole pitch. Then five steps of conversation. I mean, I'm still doing all of that, and it's just been great. I don't know.
awesome, man.
Once I got the momentum going to a certain point, like it's just for me, it's just nuts to watch. A couple people that I know on this call, they just go out there and sign a couple deals and just give it up. It's like, keep going, guys. Come on, you can do it. Anyone can do it once you get some momentum going. So I'm not saying that I'm just some elite person in the business, because I'm not. But anyone can do this once they get a little bit of momentum going.
Yeah, and
Seriously.
you've got some very large accounts. Would you say
Yeah.
all the accounts you get are large, or you get small ones?
No, you got to get them all, because the small ones fill in the gaps, right? So you go out there and you try to get in. I mean, I'm just a fan of working every industry, trying for every type of deal out there, whether it's big, small, medium, large, whatever. So you're going to have those larger deals, those $100,000 a month accounts. You're going to have the guy that's doing 3,000 a month. Like, my book's full of those different types of accounts. I wouldn't say I have large ones, big ones, medium ones. It's the whole mix of them. So
Absolutely, man. And it makes for a really secure business. I mean, because some do go out of business. There is naturally attrition, and obviously as low as
yeah.
possible based on great service and they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it happens. You don't want to have a $100,000 annual residual income with two accounts, and if one ever falls off, God forbid. I mean, boom, that's a huge hit. So I couldn't
But hey,
agree
there's nothing better than waking
more.
up and after your install and seeing like an $8,000 batch. I mean, it's nice. Trust me.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's awesome, man. So how you feeling, man? Because you're just at the beginning here. I don't know if it's really, sunk in that
Yeah.
the holy grail of this business is get more residual income than your bills. And you're
Yeah.
still just at the beginning. Forget your first year. That was just, scratch that off. Basically didn't happen. It did, but it didn't. You've been in this seriously with your head in the game for 5 months, man. You're at the beginning. How do you
Yeah.
feel, man? How big are you gonna go? What do you want to do? How does it feel to know that the basics are covered and more at this point?
That's awesome, because that alleviates all my stress. Like, we all want to be able to provide for my family. That's all taken care of, right? So the next step is just go out there and build more. Like, I'm so excited to get out there and just keep growing, right? Like, I mean, installing is a huge part of my business. Like, that's a huge part of this, but I really love production. Like, you have to have a marriage between both, and I'm really excited to see what the next chapter is. Like, I just started, guys. Like, this is just scratch the surface, like Joe was saying. This is even close to where I'm going to end. You heard people on these calls the last few days on where they're sitting, and I want to be there too. So I know I can.
Oh, I love that, man. And there's no guarantee who's going to make it there and who doesn't. Only the individual can decide that. And
Yeah.
the true key is whether somebody
Just
stops or not.
yeah.
You've heard it all week long. Yeah, if you stop, the equation stops. If you just keep going. But the cool thing now is you don't have to do this for 11 years to sit where Chris King is at. I think he's been doing it for 10 years, right? You don't have to do it
Right.
for 10 years to get to that point, and you can surpass.
No,
If you do stay in for 10 years, you're gonna be like, it's gonna be crazy, man. Like, oh, I'm
yeah.
so happy for you, man. I know how
I
big of
just
a deal of breaking the threshold of financial freedom and paying the bills is. And for all of you that are on this call and you think residual income is going to be great, or you think financial freedom is going to be great, I'll tell you, it is a
that's
1,000 times greater than what you think it's going to feel like to actually know you're covered.
yes. Yes, 100%. I never knew it would be that until I got there. But
You think you know, but once you actually get there, you're like, oh my gosh. And the whole journey and the hard work all of a sudden just fades away. It didn't matter, right? We
no,
talk about
no,
that in the book, just whatever it takes, because once you do get that result, you have it. And
right.
the hard days and the late nights out, or you went to Nebraska, right? So there's 2 or 3 weeks away from the family, and all
Yeah.
those things that you had to do won't matter when it's yours, and the payoff is huge, man. So
I think we're getting off the call here. Are you getting pretty close here, Joe?
yeah, I'm gonna.
I wanted just to give a couple more shout outs here to some people that have just really helped me along the way. And I know they're on the call. Greg Bebo, Pastor Greg, you're awesome, man. Nick, Danny, like, thank you guys for pushing me. They've been awesome. And my wife, my mom and dad, Pat and Ann, thank you guys. I know you're on the call tonight, but the Wagner family, you guys, you guys are awesome. Joe and Pal, just amazing, just great example of the business, the lifestyle, the family. Like, I love you guys.
Yeah, buddy. It changes your life, doesn't it, man?
It does.
It's really, really cool, man. It's good to hear that. And for everybody that gets it, that's what I'm here for, man. I want people to feel that. It is emotional. It's like winning the Super Bowl. But the cool part is, Dustin, you're just getting freaking started, man. I love you so much too. Beyond the business, we have such a great all the adventures, man. You already know we got so much to come in. I'm gonna
We've
ask you. I'm gonna
had a
ask.
lot of fun, man.
Oh, we're just getting started, buddy. You just hit financial freedom. Wait till we start really playing now, man. It's coming. So one last question for you. Been asking this question for years. We ask it from all the Thursday night testimonial sales partners and business owners and spouses. If you had to give one bit of advice to people that are out there trying to get their business going, get it off the ground, and to be a champion, what would your advice to anyone trying to be a winner be?
Just be honest with yourself. And I talked about this already. I wrote this down because I wanted to share this. Cut the excuses, man. Get out there, commit. Like, when Joe was like, I'm going to talk about commitment. I mean, yes, like that's huge. Burn all the ships. Commit to this 100%. For me, quit your job, you know? And that's my biggest advice is get out there and cut all the excuses out of your life and start working, and you will get results. And I believe Chris said that last night too, which is crazy. So pretty much the Same thing. Cut all the excuses out and just get out there and start working, talking to people. So that's it. It's really simple.
Excellent advice, man. If I brought on 100 people that were financially free in merchant services, I think that 98 of them would give that same answer. And it's something that I try to really pound into people. And I respect the efforts that you put into it. I respect the changes that you've made. Nobody can do this for you. Everyone that's on this call, no one can do it but you. And, just like me, I love to give Anthony Smith so much credit for being a person that got me into this, but I built what I've built. I wouldn't have got into it maybe without him, but I had to build that, and I got to give you the exact same respect, Dustin.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything, man. You did it all. You're the one that changed your life. You're the one that put in the work, and it's the same thing for every other person on this call. You're the one that has to do it. You're the one that has to make the decision. Dustin, I love you so much, man. I know we talked a couple times
too, buddy.
tonight, so thank you for your time, man. I hope everybody got a lot out of that. I'll cut you off here, Dustin. Enjoy the rest of your night, all right?
All right. See you later, man. Thanks.
All right, perfect. So for everybody that was on the call, that's our Thursday night testimonial. You got a lot of good information there. If that doesn't motivate you, if that doesn't get you to cut the fat off and really be honest with yourself and take a real inventory on what's holding you back, then nothing will. Okay. I hope that the right people got what they needed to out of that. I hope that it helps you to make the changes and move in the right direction that you need to. And, I'm here to work with people that are dead serious and dead serious only at this point. I hope that you guys change your life. I'm really, really excited. And Dustin, I'm actually going to pull you back on here. Are you still there? I want to get you back on here. If you're still there, Dustin. Do I got you?
Yeah, you got me, Joe.
Yeah, man. I want to do the same thing that I did with Chris, man. You talked about, I just got so into your story and all of that. I forgot to suck a little, a commercial out of you.
I knew you were gonna do this. I'm ready, man.
We've been talking all week about this. The price has gone up $100 by the day. Congratulations to all of you that have made that commitment by the end of this weekend. And after talking to Chris King last night, when he laughed at the price, I'm pretty sure $29.97 will probably become the average here very, very quickly. But how has this helped you? What would you say about this for somebody who's serious about changing their business, getting results, and the price that it's at? Like, just the God honest.
Well, because I did the program and actually paid more on my price, but it's been awesome, you guys. I mean, if you're going to go out there, you want to change your life, own your own life. That's really the thing here. You have a coach that's going to step with you each step of the way and not sugarcoat anything and not hold you back. He's going to push you forward. And honestly, at that price is ridiculous. I mean, Chris talked about it last night. It's 50. He said it's worth 50,000. To me, there's not even really an amount I can put on it, Joe. But yeah, I mean, if you want to change your life, $697 is ridiculous. It should be way higher than that. 50 grand. I'm right there with you, Chris. I mean, at the end of the day, for me, there's no amount of money that could do it for me, but 50,000. Yeah, Joe, it's for anyone that wants to change their life today. $697 is nothing when you look at the amount of money you're going to make over time. And we just talk about it. It's just time, right? So, guys, if you're on the fence at all on this, for that price, it's great. Sign up right now. I mean, I think you should jack this up to at least 10,000, Joe. So
we committed on Monday where it started at 497, man. And
yeah,
we're going to honor that, but we are definitely going to, in the next couple of weeks, be looking at this. So folks, if you're serious, I'd love to help you out. I'm looking for serious people. And one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself and the success of your business is to make a commitment. I could give a crap less about the money. I just want to know I'm working with people that are willing to bet on themselves and go all in and make that commitment to themselves, not to me, to themselves. So I will text that out At midnight tonight, it will go to $797. By this weekend, $997. And to be honest, I think the normal price is going to be somewhere around $3,000 in within the next couple of days after this weekend. So if you want to work together, you want some help, that's there right there. For the rest of you, I wish you all very, very well. I am stepping away from doing live webinars. This is one of my last. It is my last for the just anybody, general public, regardless what company that you're with. The majority on here, I believe, Easy Pay. We got some Busy Pay and some other people that are just kind of checking things out. I am retiring at 36 years old, thanks to this industry. Does that mean I will never be a part of this industry? Folks, I love this industry. I'll do it until I can't do it anymore. It doesn't exist. But what it does mean is that the people that are serious are the only ones that I'm going to make that commitment to. And this coaching site is everything that I know about the industry. There's no live webinar that I could run anymore that I haven't already documented and put back here. I can take you in the field back in this coaching site. I can literally bring you in the field and show you how to overcome rebuttals and close the deals and all the things that you're getting in the field on a daily basis and are struggling to overcome and close deals. I will show you literally how to handle it in the field. And I've got recorded meetings where we're going over everything that I can possibly do and every tip I can give you and every little small thing to help you increase the ratios of how to close and how to get in the door. And just everything that I know is documented and it's in here. So when I say I'm retiring, I put this together so that I can be there for you 24 hours a day whenever you want to check it out, whenever you have an issue and you want help with it. You can get in there and I'm there to help you out. That's why this was built. And I know it will change your business. Folks, have a great night. We will see you at the top. Go out there, change your life, do something with this vehicle. 11 years ago, I knew the outcome, and it's exactly what I'm going to go coast off into. Have a great one. See you at the top. I pray that you change your life with this vehicle. If you're serious, I might be there to help you out along the way. Take care. Have a good night.